Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're doing, yes, another solo shuffle queue. Yes, we are finally pushing for rank 1 spot. Currently I am 3289 or something around there. I went 6-0 this lobby, and then my last one I went 4-2. So I ended up gaining 90 points this time because my MMR is like 3250 or 80, and I'm like 3180 at this point. So, we're getting up there. We're pushing for that 3300 plus. We're getting up there. But here we end up going to 6-0 lobby, and this was actually the first game I played that was on, so it was definitely kind of rough. Here I end up blinding off my sap. He ends up trinketing the blind. Now, usually a lot of rogues will instantly pop your like basically your death mark there. Now, I like to try to save it sometimes, depending on the player. Obviously, they're all rank one, so they all know how to click their buttons. So you have to play really good at the CR, or else you can just end up dying. They're also playing double warlock, which is the worst comp for us. I mean, obviously, I think double lock for anything is just terribly boring, and it's just one shot. This guy ends up, I end up getting mind controlled every 2 seconds. I end up getting, baited off every 2 seconds because this is like the best map for them. So as you can see, every Kenny I do, I'm just getting charmed, and there's nothing I can do about it. So here I end up nelfing. See, I keep forgetting we don't have a shield when we stealth, but I keep getting a re-stealth to get my growths, because getting those 50% more growths off on all the targets are crucial, and it silences them. So here I end up using my damage here. Even without CC, it doesn't matter because I have Shiv, and then on top of that, we're you're basically you're never going to be using your death mark to kill a target. So I get that out of your head. You're using death mark to get cooldowns. You'll never kill anybody with Deathmark unless like you're playing really low CR, or if they overuse CDs by your teammate just one-shotting them. So as you can see, my Feral is just absolutely destroying them because the pets are all together, and if the locks stack at all, this guy absolutely destroys them. So I end up smoke bombing here. That he ends up doming, and we end up getting a pretty solid push here. I end up the one problem is you never want to bleed the priest. Now the good thing is you do want to silence the priest. So here my Furo ends up almost dying. So at this point we have to kill this guy. He needs to die soon, or we need a LOS. This Furo for some reason was like super hyper. He was like he was going all in. He was like all over the place. Me and my shaman were trying to keep up with him. So we just followed his lead. Wherever he went, we tried to go with, because he'd go random places sometimes. So here I'm just bleeding everything I can, and at this point I end up getting charmed. Now I do not trinket. This guy jumps down and actually dies here because his priest is up top, and his priest was like, "Bro, you gotta be kidding me." So yeah, I mean he was going anyway, so he wouldn't have been able to top him off. Didn't even matter if he didn't jump off. He was dead. Let's be honest. He was definitely toast Revan. But really, anytime you face a feral, your main goal is to, as a rogue, don't bleed the other target. So if the feral is on your friend, like your teammate, you necessarily don't want to stack on the feral. So like until you can kidney the feral, you don't want to even be on him. You just want to bleed him and go away. Because anytime you're stacking with the feral there, the entire team's just gonna die instantly. So here I end up sapping the shaman here, and then we're gonna open on the lock and pretty much just get our bleeds up and all that good stuff. He ends up getting knocked off here. I was gonna blind off of it, and I realized I'm not gonna do that. So here I end up, getting my bleeds up here, and then we're instantly gonna kidney him and pretty much just shiv pump him here. My guy actually ends up getting a good old fash, kidney here. I end up going to smoke bomb, and then I realized, I'm stunned, so I just didn't trinket for it because the shaman is not that far away. I end up having to use my evasion and cloak and my racial because I'm just dying because of this feral damage. I don't know why people don't play feral more often. It's one of the most broken things in solo shuffle, especially if they stack. You can't do anything about it. Like here, we almost end up dying pretty much in the opener. We haven't really clicked, like we've had to click everything because of this feral's damage, and pretty much we kidney him here. Now the main goal is, like I said, bleed him, and then whenever you can kidney him, that's when you want to go in. You don't necessarily want to be on top of him the entire time. It's really bad. You're just gonna die. Now here I end up using my death mark to force him into bear. Now if we can force him off of my warlock, that's what you're gonna be using your death mark for. So basically, we're just using our cooldowns here. I kidney him here. I'm gonna smoke bomb him here, and then I'm gonna gouge the. I already actually gouged the shaman. So here we end up getting a lot of cooldowns, perfectly good, and we're looking pretty fresh. Now we don't have that many cooldowns. We're out of juice here, so we need to win. Like this Feral gots to go. So like in the next, 10, 15 seconds, he either dies or we die. So pretty much you're just full bleeding and you're just going to kidney him and just try to kill him here. So at this point, he has to die. You have to full send him here. I kill that instantaneously totem. My guy ends up mind games him. He ends up coming out of bear form for some reason while he had mind games on him, so it was really sketchy, and I think he ends up dying here just in time. He was like so close to not dying, and we end up taking him out. So thankfully he came out of bear form, because had he stayed in it, their warlock would have just killed my warlock, and because we didn't have any CDs left. So at this point, you're facing a Destro and you're facing a Feral. Same thing. Only want to be on the Feral whenever you can instantaneously kill him. And yes, I kind of know Foxy. When I used to stream back in the day, he used to run this one thing to where he could revive a dead player in arena for like 30 seconds, and every time I'd face him while I was doing viewer games, he would res them. Every single time I faced him, he was playing this totem to where it resed his teammates for 30 seconds, and I was always playing with the DPS, so he always beat me because of it. It was so annoying, even though he got completely outplayed in every situation. But here I end up using my racial to basically get a cheap shot, because I'm saving that kidney for that, you know, extra juice. I want to instantly, stop their go. So, we're already looking pretty bad here. We didn't really we got the Locks trinket, I guess, and Feral is having the best time of his life. This is like the best case scenario for the Feral, is all of us stacked up together. As you can see, his damage is already just off the charts, just crazy. So, I did get my signet ring fully upgraded. Now I could be making a guide, so if you guys want a solo shuffle guide, just let me know what you guys want to see in the comments, because I look at every single comment just about. So make sure you're commenting, and also make sure you're commenting for the algorithm. Your daily bots, I need that daily bot. He ends up trying to racial here, and I could have probably vanished sapped him instead, but I was like, it all comes down to pacing. If you're not doing that stuff instantly, just don't even bother. You're at a rating to where you have to play really good, or you will just die in a global. Like, that's just what it is. You're playing at a rating to where people know how to click buttons, multi-rank ones, AWC players, especially once we get higher. Once we get in that 33, 50 MMR range, that's when it's just going to be full-on sweats, and I'm all in for it, because I'm taking the #1 spot for Rogue eventually. At the moment, I can be able to queue and not have to wait in a 40-minute queue. You know what I'm saying? I end up killing him here. At this point, he's pretty much dead, I'm pretty sure. He actually ends up surviving for a little bit longer. But at this point, he's dead. There's nothing he can do. I mean, the log's halfway dead. My guy gets a perfect stun on the bait. It's GG. So yeah, we end up taking him out. Now, the one thing druids have a bad thing with is they need a So whenever you're off DR on as a druid, you have to sit bear form until the rogue kidneys. Because if you get kidneyed out of bear form, so as you can see, we're actually like sitting up there in the MMR 33 something, or whatever it says. I can't even read it because my box is so small when I'm looking at it. It's probably like 3280 or something. But yeah, if you're playing a Feral, make sure whenever you're off DR, you have to sit bear. It sucks that you have to play like that, but as a Feral, you just, I mean, you're taking damage. You're a glass cannon. You're basically like an assassination rogue. You get unhealable dam, but you also have to play decent defensively. So here I end up using my death mark, and this is a situation to where this is what a lot of people do. I end up having to trinket because I was dying. I honestly should have saved it, or I actually saved my trinket, but I vanished. My guy ends up swapping. Honestly, I was kind of in a bad position, not gonna lie, but I really was like, I didn't think I would have to trinket, 3 seconds stun, turn into a 3, into a 2 second to a coil. I was just sitting in CC. We end up jumping off here. The lock actually stays up there, so it's kind of awkward. We have to end up running back up. Because, like I said, you always need to be in line of your healer, especially when your teammate's getting low. Because one small mistake, I end up using my trinket here to apply pressure, because you always have to have that pressure. I end up corroding the priest here to get, like I said, getting those triple garrotes, getting those double garrotes at 50% more damage is crucial. It is unhealable dam. That's the only reason I'm able to catch up with these guys in damage, is my multi-bleeding. And obviously my bleeding is nowhere near a Feral's, but my shiv comes in handy. That's all I'm really useful for, is a shiv and a kidney, and that's it. And then obviously just a little tiny, bleed damage and CC I can get. But as you can see, I'm bleeding everything I can. Now, I don't necessarily like to bleed the priest, because obviously that's what gouge is for. You want to get those full gouges when you can. So unless you're like gouging or garroting for, the silence, like a Nelf garrote or a vanish garrote, don't even bother, because it's not worth it. So here we end up getting a full kidney here. We end up getting some bleeds. He ends up doming. I end up trying to gouge him here. We actually get a full gouge. And trust me, getting those 4-second gouges are game changing. Because 4 seconds of him not being able to heal is crazy. That's a lot of CC. Now he can death it. You can obviously see it coming. But at this point, this Fear is pretty much dead. He actually ends up getting an insane swap, BM, whatever they're called, Death Repair or whatever. My luck ends up almost dying here. It's really close. We have 0 cooldowns left. We're juiced out. At this point, same situation. We're gonna have to use our death mark and just defensively kill him. We have no choice. I do have Vanish coming up, so I can Vanish grow, but at this point he should be dead. I have Vanish coming up, so I'm trying to basically not push in too hard because my healer has no healing. So here we either kill or we lose, and we actually end up killing him just in time. He was at 5%, and you know another insane W, and it was pretty juiced, pretty juiced. And this was actually an insane game here. Then this was one of my like, dude, this is a game changer right here. So anytime you see a priest fear a target, try to get those vanish saps. It is crucial, even if it's DR'd. You will see here that I end up doing it either the last game or this game. I end up sapping, Foxy, and it actually ends up giving us a dub. Even if it's a 4-second sap, it was a crazy sap. We take whatever saps we can get. So yeah, always want to sap that healer at the start, double grow, and get that damage rolling. And as you can see here, we're not even going for that mark for death yet. Now we're gonna go for that kidney. I end up actually kicking him, and it didn't even kick anything. And I actually end up kidneying the one of these games, the things where you can't kidney. Like if you kick them, they can't be stunned. I forgot that they can't be stunned, but they can't be stunned or kicked during it. I thought it was just being kicked. So, I end up just DR kidneying the log because, like, you don't want to be holding your kidney for too long. Even if it's not the best play, you gotta stop damage, whether it's bad or not. It is what it is. You gotta do what you think is right at that time. If you wait too long, your guy's gonna end up dying, and you'll wish you did that. So, as when you're playing a solo queue, make sure you're just doing stuff off impulse most of the time. Now, if you're all at 100% HP, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But if they're popping damage on you, you gotta do what you think is right. Because if you don't, then you're just gonna die, and then they're gonna blame you for it. So here I end up actually killing him into the shield, thinking that it's just kick. I end up instantly killing his Spirit Link, and at this point we can just kind of just PV him down. I can instantly gouge him, and then I can Vanish Garrote him if I need to. We'll see what happens here. Pretty much we've gotten all this. So this is where I vanish here. I see him feared here. It's DR'd. I'm gonna vanish. I see him coming up the ladder here, or the ramp, and I sap him, and then I gouge him, and he's dead. Insane. We take those every day of the week. He was very upset about that. He was streaming at the time. Unfortunately, I didn't get his reaction. Even if I did get the reaction, he would instantaneously copyright me, even if I gave him credit, because that's the good old-fashioned ways of life. Now, honestly, I think if I do give him credit, he can't even take it, because I know people, once I start streaming, people will start stealing my content. Like if you look on YouTube now, there's a bunch of people just recording other people's gameplay and putting it on theirs. And the only reason they're allowed to do that is because they're copying your stream and they're giving you credit, so it's technically not copyright as long as they're not copying the entire thing. So, you're going to be seeing a lot more of me, which actually I'm fine with. I ain't making any money anyway. So listen out there, when I start streaming, boys, whoever wants to make content off me, you know what I'm saying, you can go ahead and do that. I will, gladly let you steal the good old-fashioned content. You don't even have, I don't even care about no money. You don't even have to say anything to me. You don't gotta do none of that. You can take that content, because guess what? That makes me more famous, and making me famous makes me more money, and it makes you more money. And if I'm making money, then I'm happy. And if you're making money and I'm not making money, I'm instantaneously finding you in an arena. So don't do it. Oh, don't do it. And here at this point, he ends up, full casting, and we need to get this W. This is a 6-0 situation. I can't even read on the screen. I don't even know if it's a 6-0, but I'm pretty sure it's a 6-0. You know what I'm saying? The tile's going to be instantaneously 6-0. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and as you can see, we end up just absolutely destroying him here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out my other ones, and let me know what you want to see next. Peace, peace, boys. I will see you guys in the next one.